Hello and welcome to this introductory case study in this course, IT Product Management. So, in this particular lecture, we will talk about this case study of an engineering graduate or a technology professional becoming a successful IT product manager, a tech product manager. And this is one of the most transformative professional journeys today, moving from an engineering or technical background to becoming a strategic customer focused IT product manager. And here we have this case study, interesting case study, designed for people like you, engineering graduates and technology professionals anywhere in the world who aspire to become successful IT product manager and build excellence at an individual level. So that's this journey about. So this case study is named as Code to Customers, and this is about how a techie became a successful IT product manager. Name masked, face mask. Uh, this case is about the person called, for sake of our own discussion, Arjun Rao. He is a computer science engineer and has been working for 4 years in a software developer as a software developer in a SaaS company. And his goal is to transition from technical contributor towards strategic product manager for a global IT product. Now, obviously, such a transformation transition would have some challenges. The challenge is to while he's great at building features, that's because of his past 4 years of work, but not at defining what and why to build, which is what is needed for a product manager, right? So this is this case study about. So what was the challenge? Let's talk about this challenge that we briefly touched on. So Arjun loved coding and had built many technically sound solutions. But when his team's new product module failed to attract user adoption, he realized that something fundamental was missing. During a retrospective, a discussion with his manager said, "Did anyone validate the what a customers actually wanted? Did they want this particular feature?" And Arjun realized that he had spent, months perfecting a solution without validating the problem. And he wanted to become a product manager, someone who defines problems, right? Aligns stakeholders and delivers customer and business value. But he has several personal barriers, mind you, personal barriers. Now, what were these personal barriers? He thought mostly in terms of requirements, not outcome, as a result of his past 4 years of training as a techie. He knew technology deeply, but not the customer journey, and communicating through technical language, not user value. So these were the typical techie challenges that Arjun Rao was facing. So what did he do? He started thinking in terms of problem rather than the solution. And that was the turning point. Arjun's mentor advised him that you already think in systems. Now start thinking in terms of story. He decided to treat his product manager transition like a product development project, which he was used to doing. With himself as a product, he defined himself as a product, and there he needed to improve the product. So he created this personal product roadmap in which he defined the problem statement as I can build, but I cannot yet lead what should be built. Right. The goal was to build product thinking, communication, and strategic decision making skills. And the metric of success would be to become a product management manager within 12 months with measurable product impact. So this is what he defined about himself as a product, the roadmap, right? So what did he do? Let's take a look at the framework Arjun used called Tech to Prod, right? Step-by-step solution that he did. So first stage was technical to translation. T. There, the mind shift had to shift from code logic to customer logic, right? And What he started doing was he began shadowing customer success calls, noting user pain points. And the practices tools he used was like user journey maps, empathy maps, and the outcome was he learned that users did not need more dashboards. They needed easier onboarding. So that's how he translated, he moved to translational from technical. Second stage was for him to move from empathy before engineering, right? Where you build fast, instead of building fast, you validate first. And the key things that he did was he conducted 10 customer interviews for feature discovery. And the tools he used was like jobs to be done, JTBD framework. And he discovered and met needs in data import automation, right? The third stage was to use collaboration as a core skill. So from a solo coder, he had to move to a cross-functional influencer to become a product manager. And what he did there to practice is that he partnered with design, sales, and analytics team, and using the tools like Confluence, Miro, Slack integration boards, and this built the communication confidence and stakeholder visibility. The fourth stage is to start work based on hypothesis, and that basically leads you to shift from delivering specs to testing hypothesis. And he wrote required docs starting with the assumptions and success metrics. And the tools he used was like A/B testing, analytics dashboard, etc. And that reduced feature rework by 40% in the pilot project. And the last stage was the prod outcome, where he had to shift from product oriented. He had to become a product oriented developer rather than a product developer. And the key action was that he got promoted to associate product manager, and he co-led the MVP launch with 25% adoption increase rate. So that was his transformation framework. So 6 months later, he Arjun was given a test. He was told that he will lead the MVP launch of a new AI-based support chatbot for enterprise clients. So that was a capstone challenge called Project Harmony with tight constraints, right? That 8 week timeline was very tight. Uh, they were competing internal teams from engineering, sales, and support, and there was undefined user journey and leaders' expectation of launching something customers will actually use. And Arjun realized that this was not a technical test, it was a product thinking test. Having learned that framework, he knew what to do there, right? So, how he applied the product management excellence to this situation? So, he defined the real problem first, right? And what he did there was he used customer support logs plus interviews and found agents spent 30% of time searching past tickets. And that led to a clear quantifiable problem. Then he prioritized by value, used RICE scoring, reach, impact, confidence, effort, and picked three high value, feasible features for MVP. The third step was to balance tech and business constraint, and he collaborated with engineering to reuse NLP models and cut development time by 3 weeks. Fourth step was to validate with real users early enough, and he released internal beta to 20 agents, collected feedback weekly, and that improved usability by 40%. And finally, he measured impact post launch. He defined KPI, average resolution time per support ticket, and the outcome was reduced time from 7 minutes to 4.5 minutes to resolve the queries or issues. So, what was the breakthrough moment? So, when presenting to leadership, Arjun said, "Our success isn't that we built an AI chatbot. It is that we gave 200 support agents back 2.5 minutes per ticket, freeing them to solve complex issues faster." And leadership saw that he had transitioned from a builder of features to a creator of outcomes. And he was promoted to product manager automated solutions. Right. So that's the breakthrough that happened. So what are the key lessons in building excellence as a product manager for engineers like you and me? So first is to define the problem, right? Where the old mindset is what can we build, whereas we need to shift to what should we solve? What is the problem that we should solve? And the practical practice you can do is by using the problem statements, not feature list. The second dimension of excellence as a product manager that you will see as you go along in this course is customer empathy, where you need to shift from users want cool features to users want to save time, reduce friction. And there for that, you need to conduct interviews, map pain points, etc. The third dimension is managing stakeholders, where from a I'll do my part mindset, you need to shift to I'll align all parts. That's a key role of a product manager. And for that, you need to run weekly syncs with all functions. The fourth dimension is the data driven thinking, where from a mindset of code is correct, you need to shift to the impact is measurable. And for that, you define KPIs before development. And last is strategic thinking, where you earlier focus on let's meet deadlines, you say let's meet user goals. And they use objectives and key result areas to define what is it that you're trying to achieve, right? So these are some key lessons that you will see being elaborated in more details as you go along. So what was Arjun's reflection? So biggest shift, as Arjun said, wasn't from engineer to product manager. It was from problem solver to problem finder. Once I learned to see customers as my core, I became the real product manager. Now, what does that mean? The phrase see customers as a core can be interpreted in two main ways. Either you are a developer using customer data to build or update a software, which is usual way, or you are a business owner looking to crack the code of your customers for better marketing and segmentation. And that is the product manager's way, right? In the first case, what this refers is to using customer information like codes or profile in a technical system. And the second, it's about applying analytical codes or strategies to understand and engage customers more effectively. So that was Arjun's reflection. Interesting. So let's take a look at the excellence framework that made Arjun an engineer to a PM growth ladder. Now, the first stage was the awareness, where the focus is on understanding the product role of you as a product manager. And the key competency you want to do is to learn how product managers think. And the kind of activities you can do are like follow PM blogs, shadow PM meetings, etc. Second stage would be to explore. This is for engineers who want to become product managers, right? So you explore, and their whole focus is on building customer empathy and customer framing. And what you need to develop is the competency is this by conducting 5 user interview, and that helps you build mini problem statements. So that's an example of things you do. The third stage is application, where you translate tech ideas into user stories, and there you write 3 PRDs, product requirement docs, and you get feedback from your designers. Then you have the fourth stage is, influencing, in which you manage stakeholders and priorities, you lead a cross-functional mini project, and present trade-off decisions that you had to make and you made. And the fifth stage is the leadership, where you drive business outcomes by launching or co-creating a product MVP and tracking metrics post-launch. So that's the excellence framework of becoming an engineer, from engineer to a PM growth, product manager growth ladder. So what is the outcome? What is the outcome is that engineer has a competitive advantage. Now Arjun's technical ground did not disappear, it became his superpower. He could speak both code and customers, right? He understood the trade-offs between the technical feasibility and user desirability, bridging the two worlds that often have conflicts. And after 18 months, he was mentoring others making the same transition. Right. So, what are the final takeaways? So, the final takeaway is that product management excellence is not about being less technical. Right. It's about technology to create measurable human value at an individual level, like you. The transformation from from an IT engineer to an IT product manager requires mastering a few things, like empathy over efficiency. You need to understand what matters most to user, then doing it fast and quick and dirty kind of a thing. Outcomes versus output. Success is impact, not how many features did you build. Even if you build one feature and that have massive impact, that's success. Communication over control. Aligning multiple functions with clarity is another thing that you need to master. And learning over knowing, treating every decision as an experiment. So these are some final takeaways. So what do we do next now? So we get on with learning about the role of the IT product manager, building that awareness of the role, IT product management in this journey. And we will talk about here what kind of role a product manager at Microsoft would have, right? So thank you so much for watching this introductory case study in this course, IT product management. I hope you continuing, beginning to learn new things, beginning to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.